Conversations are what sharpens a nurse's mind, and it rejuvenates the commitment of service to others. The road to becoming a certified nurse is demanding, and it calls for resilience and focus. In this conversation, you're going to have an opportunity to interact with Margaret Anne Thompson. She's a registered certified nurse anesthetist. Having worked as a certified registered nurse anesthetist for 38 years, Margaret has a wealth of knowledge in a range of critical care and anesthesia operations, including pediatrics and cardiovascular, neurology, orthopedics, ENT, general surgery, just to name a few. Margaret holds memberships in various organizations, including the National Black Nurses Association and Wichita Black Nurses Association. And in this conversation, Maggie will unveil some of the most remarkable transformations in the field for nurses and healthcare workers. We also are going to dive into the unique role that Black and brown nurses play in this field and some of the most common challenges that are encountered, as well as the lessons learned as a key takeaway for young practitioners. We're going to equally look at perceived potentials for the CRNA field in the near future as well. So be sure to hit the going button and also join and subscribe here. We're going to put the link below. We've been having a wonderful time. I'm here with Margaret Thompson, CRNA, RM, and we've just, already today we had some challenges this morning logging in and getting a chance to get to you guys. And I want to just talk about that. I want to just start with that because technology has changed so much in the last 5 years, 10 years. And you were a CRNA for how long?
I've been the CRNA for 38 years, and I know about the changes from where we were using pagers to using iPhones to writing the patient's information on a sheet of paper to going to a computer and logging in their blood pressures and all the things that go on with them while we're doing anesthesia. So yes, at 72 years old, I've learned a lot. I know I still have a lot more to learn, and I might be interested and I might not.
Well, I think you've earned your right to say that. And I think it's interesting because when you talk to our seasoned and veteran nurses, they always, I've contributed to nursing, and you never understand like, hey, I'm at this point, it's a job. But, when we get out of nursing school, it's amazing. At least for me, I was like, I'm going to save the world mentality, right? And it's
yes.
Like, we have so much disease and we have so much non-education, and it's like you want to just help every single person
yes.
to save the world. So tell me about, you went through the pages and all of that. Tell me about, how has it been? How has it been to advance in that?
Really, it has been good because, like I say, back in the day, I started anesthesia school in 1981. Mm-hmm. And during that time, it was a pager, and you just heard the person speaking to you on a pager. You didn't see a face, you carried a pager. You clipped it to your body. When the doctors were wanting you to go to a room to do a case, you would just, it was kind of like the phone where you didn't see a face, you just heard a voice, and you go to room 3 to go do a gallbladder, And then when it came to writing the information, vital signs, blood pressure, all those kind of things, it was on a clipboard on a sheet of paper. And I guess since maybe 10 years ago back, we now have iPhones where you can see the doctor talking to you if you want to, or for sure hear his voice. He rings your number, Maggie Thompson, that's my nickname, Maggie, go to your room. Then you start doing computers. The computer was hooked up to the EKGs and the blood pressure machine. So as that patient's blood pressure was going every 5 minutes, you can look at a screen and see it happening. And so those are a lot of changes for some of us CRNAs that were around my age. We were having a hard time. The young people marched in there like what? And we looking at them, yeah, what? And so we had to get it. I gotten better with it, with the help of 6-year-old nieces who can come to your house and tell you, Aunt Margaret, all you have to do, and I say, little girl, I don't want to hear nothing about all you have to do. Just
Right.
push what button you want me to do and get Aunt Margaret on this. But it's come a long ways, and I got it. And I'm doing much better than I was. I just got an iPhone, or rather a regular flip phone back in the day, just about 15 years ago, because I didn't want a phone. I said, y'all can call me at my house or whatever. But anyway,
Right.
I'm better. And today was some learning experience,
Right.
a little painful at times, but all is good. Life is good.
Right.
We can be doing worse than that. I'm good.
Right.
So
right.
I'm ready.
Because
I'm ready to talk.
we're still in the better stages or better side of the bed, is like I say it, than the
Yes.
people that we service. And so, we're grateful to have you here. I know
Thank
that
you.
people all over the world will be listening and hearing this. So, what I want to know though is, with all the changes in technology and so forth, what do you think has changed in terms of care, or do you feel that it's changed?
I do feel it's changed. I feel that now with technology is so much speaking over an instrument. It used to be that we made rounds when I was working as a registered nurse. You made rounds. You actually go into the room and you talk to the patient. You literally sometimes would sit down and just talk to the patient. You might have a clipboard and an ink pen to answer questions, but you get a chance to touch them. Now it's like you go in there with a computer, and sometimes you're literally pushing the intercom to their room and asking them questions. You might not have seen them yet because everything is so technology. That's the thing. You don't get a chance to do the one-on-one, eye to eye, let me touch you, that kind of thing. So those are the things that bother me, because I'm that kind of person where I'm a touchy-feely. I want to look at your face. I want to see what you're looking like. Sometimes just what a patient can look like can give you some ideas of what is going on with them. Where if they're talking on the phone, they make them fake it out because you can't see their face. You can't see the tears rolling down their eyes. Down their face, out their eyes, because they're talking to you. You may hear a sniffle. You don't know if it's a cold or they really are crying because they're upset about what's going on with their diagnosis, that kind of thing. So technology, yes, is good, but technology, once it goes down, you are done. If you got to pencil some paper, the most you're going to have, your lead broke, you dropped your clipboard, or you made the wrong thing on a piece of paper, scratch it out and keep moving.
Keep moving.
That's right.
And I think that that's key, because you have nursing students all over the world. They come out of nursing school, and I've heard so many times, I want to be a CRNA. And, it's just that very thing that, sometimes hard to grasp, is that you need to have the basics. There's things that you just can't learn. You're talking about doing the case studies and patient presents with, well, what helped me tremendously, again, was the very same thing, was to touch the patient. Oh, I remember I have a patient like this, and that's how you learn. It's not, and again, it's two different worlds right now. But to be able to patient present, well, how do they present, and physically going there and seeing that patient, because they know their body better than, what some diagnosis says, or what somebody has typed into a chart sometimes. So how do you feel that has just the overall changed just nursing in general, not just CRNA, but nursing in general?
I think it's changed nursing in general because of not that human contact. It's kind of like with this COVID, where everybody had to be in their home. You couldn't do a lot of moving around. You sure couldn't shake hands anymore. You sure couldn't give a hug. It's something about that human touching. And my biggest thing, it was nothing for me to go in a room and simple as you would give a patient a bath. Now, and so if you did that, you were able to see if there was any marks there, or was something going on, or they're telling you about a lump or a bump. You can see it with your eyes instead of being told about it. And you nowadays, you give the patient a package of wipes to wipe themselves down, and that's it. You know, we back in the day, we gave bed baths. I mean, where you clean the patient from the top of their head to their ears, to the matter in their eyes, to the ears, to just wiping them down. And as you're doing that, you're looking at them and you're talking to them, and they're telling you things. They're telling you how I feel, or they may just be talking about a family member that they're worried about, but now you know why come they're quiet today when you go in that room. They've got other stuff on their mind. So it's just the personal human being touch to me. And I know that is not going to change, but I personally myself, even when I was doing anesthesia, I would ask the patient, how are you doing? Are you nervous about this? And if you are, tell me about it. I would just make those be my time so I can let them know you're getting ready to have open heart surgery. I know you're scared. What can I answer you? You don't get that anymore. Everybody is in a hurry. Okay, you get ready to have your surgery. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to get your blood pressure cuff on. We're going to da, 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 da. I've had times when I've had patients come in my room and they are crying. And I tell everybody, and I tell them, and I've been doing it long enough where I can say, but I can tell them, everybody move away from the patient. Dr. So-and-so, that means you too. And that has happened. And I have to get down and put my mouth to their, with my mouth not on their ear, but let them know all is well. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get your blood pressure. We need to hook you to some monitors. I'm going to give you some medicine, make you a little bit more relaxed. And we're going to get through this together. It's going to be all okay. Close your eyes and trust me that I'm going to take good care of you. And everybody in the room is going to do the same. But we're going to give you a minute. And I mean, when I've said that, from surgeon on, they've respected me enough, or I've done it enough. They know how I'm going to take care of my patient. Everybody backs away from the table. Sometimes you have to do that. A lot of times you can't if you're in a trauma, but even in traumas, if they're conscious enough, I do that same thing, not telling everybody to back up, because at that point, everybody got to be on scene. But I'm in that patient, my hand is on their hand. My hand is on their cheek, and say, we're going to get through this. We know, all of us know what we're doing in here. We got you.
Wow, that's so inspiring, because you do need that advocate regardless of whatever stage they're in, whether it's surgical or not. And then that's such a key thing. Like, what do you tell nursing students at that point that may be afraid to speak up, or maybe have never even entered the profession before, and here they go into this, they want to help save the world, but in terms of that patient interacting and advocating for their patients, what do you say to them as they go into this field?
I let them know, number one, this is a patient. Number two, we're here because of the patient. They are laying flat on their back. They're looking up at us. We're looking down at them. And remember, they are a patient, but they are a human being. You have to show some calmness. You have to show, for sure, some kindness. If it's nothing but holding their hand and letting them know, I'm here for you. If someone is in your arena and you find like they are rushing the patient, and as they're doing that, hurrying up and getting the monitors on, and the patient is, you can tell they're so tense, you have to just say in a respectful way, hey, but guys, give me a minute. Let me get some more relaxing medicine into the patient. Give me a minute, and then I'm gonna let you start putting that blood pressure cuff on and putting all the other things that you need to attach to the patient. But give us a minute. And you said in a calm voice, you said it in a respectful voice, and then you have to, I know that is the doctors are the captain of the ship, but I do know we as the nurses, we are sailing on the same ship that he's the captain of. And so you have to get that in an understanding. And in my lifetime of being in the medical field for 50 years, that's where I have had to be. At the beginning, it wasn't that easy. But as you have done it, and I know there's students where they're not going to be able to do that, but this is what I teach them when I'm telling them, remember, this is a patient and they are scared to death. You are looking down at them and they're looking up at you and saying, please take care of me. And when you look down at them, you have a smile on your face to make them believe that you are.
Right. That's awesome. And I think that's something that we have to make sure that we don't lose sight of. I mean, we get sometimes in the, we start to just get into the routine or habit
Yes.
because it's our job, but ultimately
Yes.
we have to, I think those words were key when you're saying we have to touch the patient. And,
Yes.
you know, my favorite author, Atul Gawande, I've heard him speak live, and he goes into detail about, you know, how doctors don't touch the patients anymore.
Yes.
We sit with a computer, but ultimately by simply touching the patient makes all the difference in the world. And you don't think so, but you know, they almost have that "you're touching me" kind of thing.
Yes. Yes.
And it doesn't matter if you're a CNA and you know you're walking in the room, and because this time works for you to give a bath, you know, don't come at 3 o'clock in the morning because that's what time is best for you.
Yeah.
You know, knock on the door and have respect and say, is it a good
Yes.
time? And I think that that's so key, especially in our Black community. And I really want to touch
Yes.
on that because you are at a level that many nurses all over the world, especially our Black and brown nurses, and you are viewed, you hold the highest rank in terms of a nurse is concerned. And so everyone is that patient to you. Everyone's looking up to you. And I want you
Yes.
to share with me how you feel that just your position and experiences have really has changed, and how you can empower Black and brown nurses all over the world and share how we can just be better advocates for our own communities.
I tell you, when I came into the nursing field in 1971, and I graduated in 1973, but before I got there, it was me and 5 other Black nurses. We had to go to the counselors to tell them what we wanted to do in nursing school and this and that before we even got in, just really good, just even got in the door. We had one counselor who told all of us Black nurses, why don't you all consider LPN, licensed practical nursing, before you want to try the registered nurses, which is a higher position, because I feel like you all would do better starting out as from a nurse, start out with nurse's aide and then go to LPN, and then hopefully you can get into RN. We all got together and was talking and was said, this same person told all of us that she didn't think that we could do this. So what we did is went to the director of nursing school, Isa Stegg, who, when we came into the building and she realized it was 5 of us Black females, which that's never happened in history at the nursing school I went to, and that was Wesley Medical Center. We told her that, and she said, you all came here to become registered nurses. That is what you all will be. And we felt very good about that. And the next day when we came back to get our paperwork, Mrs. I won't have to say her name, but the person who was our counselor, her office was open, her desk was cleared, and we found out she was gone. Mrs. Isa Stegg fired her on the spot for telling us that. And she was and Miss Stegg was so happy to have us. So we all graduated with honors. We had all great grades. We did very, very well. A lot of these same nurses are PhD, masters, CRNAs, like I became, Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetist. And so we got through that. From there, I decided I wanted to become a nurse anesthetist, a certified registered nurse anesthetist. That was going to be 2 more years of schooling for anesthesia school. When I entered that school, I got accepted. I was the only African-American person in my class, and it was 20 of us in a class. They took 20 at a time. And I was the only African-American in the class, and had my ups and downs, but no one made me feel belittled like the counselor did. They, during that time, it's in the 80s, and they was looking for, because they didn't see very many African-American, anybody in nurse anesthesia. I had great teachers, great doctors who wanted me to succeed, and I did. Now you go from there to getting into now going to do your job, because you're out of school, you've done very well, you're now ready to go to work, you're excited. And then you deal with people that are not used to seeing this color of a person saying to you, my name is Margaret Thompson, I'm a certified registered nurse anesthetist, I will be doing your anesthesia today. And they look at you as if this, and they do say, well, where is the anesthesiologist? And I said, he's here. And they said, well, who's going to be doing the anesthesia? And I tell them, I am. And so you catch those kind of things where some looked at me as if they were looking at a cow looking at a new fence, but I kept my demeanor as being understanding. I got this. You've never seen this before in this city, in this hospital, and I get it. But eventually that got better. I mean, I can tell you stories of what I've dealt with for it to get better, but I have to say I had doctors, and I'm telling you, that believed in me, was rooting for me, and I was able to just go on with my years of anesthesia. I became the most popular nurse anesthetist amongst my colleagues that did not look like me. I put doctors, family members to sleep. I put doctors that were my bosses to sleep. They trusted me, but I had to be that extra special better.
Right,
I had to read something 2 or 3 times and make sure I really got it. If I got questioned on a subject about you're getting ready to do open heart surgery, what is the medicines you're going to use and why are you using them? I had to practice the night before, standing in the mirror, talking to one of my big time doctors that is anesthesia, and that's his specialty, to match what he's asking me. And even if I fumbled, I still had enough information to do it, and I was trusted. So in 38 years, I used to keep up with how many request cases I would get. I kept a book, but by the time I got to almost 500-600 over 38 years of, and there may be more than that, I just stopped writing them. It was just the joy of knowing someone trusted me with their life, from them personally as a surgeon, from the next door neighbor, from the lady down the street, because someone said, when you go have anesthesia, ask for Maggie. So those are the things that you have to maintain, the kindness, and I continue to do that. It was nothing for me whether you're a man or a woman. I've taken care of AIDS patients. You grab their hands and let them know, I'm here to take care of you. I will be here with you from the beginning of this case to the end, and then I will be checking on you. It didn't matter who you were, what your skin was, boy, girl, transgender. I've dealt with it all. People that were mean to you because they're looking at you like, you're not gonna, I had one patient said, you're not gonna touch me. I've never had a Black person touch me before. And you get through that. You let them know, I am going to take, if you just trust me, you have to just talk to them calmly and say, just trust me. I've done this for X amount of years. I know what I'm doing. Touch me, just give me a chance. And I've been through that. But yeah, the journey for Black and brown is not as easy, because people don't look at you as your character at that moment. all they're looking at as your color, and it depends on how they're feeling about that, they come up with a negative thing in their own head instead of giving you a chance. But I have to say, all the anesthesiologists that were my bosses, surgeons, to this day, I had got a lot of respect. I had to earn it. And sometimes I had to get a little bass in my voice to earn it, but I got it. And so I'm just saying, don't give up on your dreams. If you're wanting to be a nurse anesthetist or whatever you want to be, doctor, whatever, go for it and stick your chest out, stand flat-footed on your faith, and keep going and do it. And I am a complete witness of doing anesthesia for 38 years, done well, no incidents in my life with patients. Oh yeah, I've been through some traumas and we've lost some, but nothing that I've done to hurt anybody because I was steady reading and learning continuously.
Okay, and that's powerful, Maggie. And I mean, kudos to you. You've had an amazing career, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the things you're doing now. But what inspired you to be the best? And I mean, I hear you saying continuous learning. That has a definition of Kaizen, and that's all of the great leaders and individuals are always continuously learning. But I want to know a little bit about what inspired you to continue to be the best.
I started out looking at a TV ad, Cake TV, and they were asking for Martin K. Eby, which was a construction company, had an ad on Cake TV. I'm looking for minorities to go into nursing, and basically I will pay for your nursing career, your college. I just need you need to sign a paper that you will continue to keep a B or above grade. Come talk to me, send me a little letter about you. And that's how it got started for me wanting to be in nursing. But before that, I've always been a caregiving person. My mother was sick a lot. I was the oldest child, and it was 7 of us. And I had to take care of her in her sickness. Then the brothers and sisters under me. I've always been that type of person of just wanting to care for somebody or help somebody. I've always been that way. But I went and got all of this approved. This Martin K. Eby approved it. I went to nursing school. I was in nursing school for 2 years. I decided when I got out, I wanted to do critical care nursing. And that's what turned me on for being a nurse, is the idea, if you're doing some critical care and you can help somebody through this critical care and hopefully save them, you may not save them all, but the idea of going into critical care nursing, that's what made me want to just do just the extra special part where you had to learn even more. I did intensive care, surgical intensive care is my first job out of nursing school. People say, why are you getting right out of nursing school? You're just learning about nursing and going into a surgical intensive care unit. I said, because I want to learn more. I want to get in there, and there's going to be someone in there I know's got to teach me, and I want it. And so I did that for 4 years, ended up being an assistant head nurse in the surgical intensive care unit, did that. And then I decided I wanted to move on because I needed some different hours, and I found out recovery room was offering some different hours that would accommodate me at that time as a single mom, being home at certain times for the girls. So I went into recovery room, and in recovery room is what turned me to being interested in anesthesia. I would ask the nurse anesthetist, what is it that you need to do to be able to go to school to do this? You're putting people to sleep, you're waking them up. What is it that you need to do? And one of the nurses, LaDonna Thompson, told me this is what you need to do and you can apply. And there's 4 schools in Wichita, and she gave me the suggestion of the schools she thought I would do best in. And that's what I did. Got through that interview. They even challenged me, you are a female, you're a single mom. Do you think you can do this? I said, I know I can do it. And the reason why I know I can do it, because I want to do it bad enough. And that's how I would teach my children who have done well in their life. You want to do something, you have to want to do it bad enough. And I did. And so I got through that and got through where I am now, 38 years of anesthesia, and retired and happy still, and then still helping people, still doing things. I knew I wasn't going to get out of anesthesia and just go sit down. There's no way. I immediately when I got done, I went to the Guadalupe clinic here to ask, can I volunteer a couple of days a week? And I did. COVID came, and so therefore I couldn't do it anymore. But I have more to tell you about what I did because I couldn't tell you that.
So you're telling me you haven't actually had a retirement yet?
I have not.
You don't even know what that looks like, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like, because the biggest thing, Dennis and I, my husband, we had all these trips planned, and then COVID came, so now you can't do the trips. But you know, okay, what I'm gonna do? I'm not a sitter. I've never been a sitter. Even my mom say, sometimes sit down and be still. Okay, I'm gonna try that, Mom. So I would try that. Didn't work. My husband comes home. If I'm sitting, the first thing Dennis asks me, are you doing okay? Are you all right? Are you feeling okay? And I said, yeah, what's the deal? He said, you're sitting. Oh, okay. Bless your heart.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, you're a woman on the move, and I do want to talk a little bit about that. You know, as we get ready to wrap up in a bit, we've been a bit off script, and that's okay, because I've learned a tremendous amount, and I know that anyone that watches this can see this, just your genuineness and sincerity and love for and passion for what you do and how that's carried over. So I want to talk to you, a member of the National Black Nurses Association, member of the Wichita Black Nurses Association. Yes. I mean, and I want to hear about that, because that's really why we're here. Again, we're having just conversations, and I want to know about how you became a member of the Wichita Black Nurses Association, a little bit about what you're doing there. There's so many exciting things that, I mean, the organization is doing, and you are spearheading many of those things. And talk a little bit about that.
All right. I am a member of the Wichita Black Nurses Association. I've been a member since 1973. I met a lady by the name of Frankie Manning, who lived here in Wichita at one point, a registered nurse. And we went, a group of us nurses, Black nurses, went to St. Louis to what we was told is going to be a conference, and it will be a conference of Black nurses, male, female. We went to that conference in St. Louis and was so inspired, because they had the St. Louis Black Nurses Association. It was about 6 or 7 of us who went to this conference. We went there, came back to Wichita, and said, we want a Wichita Black Nurses Association in Wichita, Black nurses. And Frankie Manning is the one who spearheaded it in Wichita. It ended up being about 6 or 7 of us who got it started in 1973. I am still a member. I'm a national member and a local member. And with that, we were in the community to help the community for nursing, from going to people's homes and taking their blood sugars, taking their blood pressure. We've been in homes and bathing people because they couldn't bathe themselves, those kinds of things. And just following up being nurses, going to different homes. That was back in the day when you could do that. And then from that on, with this COVID happening, we still were able, we couldn't get back and forth in homes like we was because of COVID. We just didn't know. So I thought, and then you start hearing about the vaccines are out now. I got my vaccine in January, my first vaccine, because I was I was under the medical field, so I got my vaccine in January. So I got my vaccine. When I went to go to get my vaccine, there was a line, and they had it in an arena, Trust Arena, this big arena where people were in lines to get, medical people were in lines to get this shot of this vaccine. when I went there, I saw maybe 3 people that looked like me, and 2 of them were nurses, and one was just a female that I knew in another business. And when I went back for my set, and I'm thinking, where are all the people that look like me when we as Blacks are dying the quickest and getting the sickest on this COVID disease, this virus? And then I knew the idea that a lot of Black and brown was so nervous about it for various things that's happened in history in life. But I'm still thinking, okay, we are, but we need to get it done. When I went back for my second shot, there was maybe 8, maybe 10 at the most of people that looked like me getting the shot. I finally, when I got to my shot, I asked the nurse who was giving me the shot, a white nurse, I said, how many Blacks have you seen or brown people come through here? And she said, not many, ma'am, not many. And I said, okay, all right, not many. This is not good. She says, not. She says, times I've been here for an 8-hour shift and I've never seen one Black person that I've given a vaccine to. So with that, I was looking at TV and saw in the South where this preacher was getting his people to get their vaccines because they were members of his church, and he called the health department. It was somewhere in Atlanta. Can you just bring the shots to our churches? And if you do, I promise you, my people will come. I picked up on that. I called some of the preachers in Wichita, about 6 of them in big churches, and said, if we can get vaccines brought to your church, could we do that and use your church, use your gyms, use your reception halls? If we can get this together, the Wichita Black nurses, and every preacher said yes. The next thing was to call the health department to give my story. It took a minute for me to get a hold of them. Finally, I got a hold of someone and told them what we wanted to do. Can we bring these vaccines in a mobile unit to the Black churches in our community? And we will start with the bigger churches first, it's got the biggest membership, and then we'll move down to the small churches. Can we do this? And if we do, it can happen. We got a hold to the director, Adrienne Byrne. She thought it was the best idea. I was talking to her about the 2nd of March, and she said, when can you get started? I said, well, when can you get it started? She said, what about Sunday? That was 5 days. I said, oh my God. I said, give me a minute. I need to make some phone calls. And I got on the phone and got to call in St. James Baptist Church first, Pastor Broderick, called him first, and then called the registered nurse who was a member of that church, Mitch Dempsey, who was a Wichita Black nurse. And we got started March the 7th at St. James Baptist Church in Wichita, Kansas. We had over 100 and something people who came. The problem was about them not coming down to the arena. Everybody did not have a computer to get on the computer to sign up. A lot of people couldn't stand in line that long, because they had an age group in the 60s or so after that. Mm-hmm. Then a lot of people could not, they didn't know where to park, or they just didn't know what to do. And so therefore, I'm not taking it. But when we started it in the churches, people came like crazy and told their friends. Their pastors would get it first. They see the pastor get it, the pastor's wife would get it, then Sister Jones gonna get it. If Sister Jones sings, Sister Jones, sister get it, then I'm gonna tell Sister Smith, and then it went on. It was like a domino effect. We have done close to 2,000 vaccines, whereas when they were doing them at the health department, I think they might have had a total of maybe 40 or 50 between Black and brown folk, and we have done close to 2,000, and we're still going. And it was all about caring. It was all about looking at the lines and not seeing anybody that looked like me, and being told, yes, it's a vaccine that's going to help us, but people are scared. And with that, we did education. I wrote up paperwork about COVID and diabetes, COVID and this. We wrote up FYI about COVID, what it means, what it does, how it works, why you need it, and what it does. I wrote up a 3-page sheet of myths, of all the myths that people say, this is why I'm not taking it. I wrote up a 3-page myth and then quoted the New England Journal and quoted doctors, quoted the health department, quoted Dr. Fossey, who everybody believed what he was saying, and I still do, because it's all about the science. We did education, we did flyers, we went to beauty shops, we went to barber shops, letting them know the vaccines are at church so-and-so from this time to this time on this day. And it just kept going to bigger church after bigger church after bigger church. We were so impressed with what we were doing. The governor found out about what the Wichita Black nurses were doing, and Governor Laura Kelly sent a email to me, or rather her secretary did. We want to meet you Black nurses to see what you're doing, and can we make this happen in other places other than Wichita, Kansas? And that is exactly how it went. And we are proud to be doing it. We now have been called to do things. Juneteenth is happening June 19th, this Saturday. We as Black nurses will be at the Park building of Mac Adams Park from 11 to 3, giving vaccines. You have a choice of a Pfizer, you have a choice of Johnson & Johnson, and we will be giving you education on it, paperwork, and we don't give it to you where you pick it up off a table. We put it in your hand. I told them, don't lay anything on the table for someone we're gonna assume gonna pick this stuff up. Someone's assignment is, as they're walking out the door, they're getting this paper about how these vaccines work, what you need to expect, when they work and why they work, and on and on and on. And we are not done. Wichita Black nurses, we, because of that, have added 24 new members to our organization because they are seeing what we're doing. These are Black nurses. And not only that, I have to throw it into my sisters that don't look like me, my vanilla sisters. They found out what the Black nurses were doing, and certified registered nurse anesthetists to registered nurses to nurses assistants to medical assistants. They start calling us. What can we do to help you? We want to play on your playground. So this has stimulated a rave in Wichita, Kansas. We've had counselors, we had community members to join the bandwagon. Every channel 3, 12, and 10 newspapers, we have had a write-up about, and everywhere we go, we will always see a camera. I am sure on this Saturday, we will see TV channels. We already know Bonita Gooch with The Voice. She will be there. She's already posted it in her newspaper about us being there. So these are the things we do as nurses. These are the things that are passionate in my heart. Help the people. You know, help yourself first. And that my helping myself first was going down there, nervous as I could be, getting that shot. And I put my second shot on Facebook where I let them see me get the shot. I was very transparent about how I felt the next day. I did have some symptoms, headache, not feeling well, achy of my arms, my muscle. I told the truth, but I told them it lasted 2 days. COVID will last for a long time. Everybody get the shots. And I'm steady posting on my page where we're doing shots, what time we're doing them, and come. So yeah, it's all about caring.
That's great. And we can also find out the dates that Wichita Black nurses are doing the shots as well, and what your organization is doing. And that website, we'll make sure we put it below, but that's wichitanurses.org and wichitablacknurses.org. And so before we, I guess, just sign off today, you know, how can people become a member of the WBNA? How can we do that? I'm assuming it's on the website where you can become a member, correct? And again, we'll put those links there. But how else, if we don't have a computer or something, how can we access the Black nurses?
Well, I tell you what, we can go old school and call a telephone number. Way back in the day where people use telephones, you know, we can do that. And I'm willing to give my phone number out.
Well, we won't give your phone number out, but we'll put in the chat there and some contact information. But I think, you know, your story really, really inspired. We might have to have a part 2 of this Conversations with Class. It's just so very interesting because you've turned into this, I guess you've always been innovative and a go-getter, but you're almost become a COVID consultant, but most importantly, a nursing consultant, because you're infusing just experience and passion and will into people that need to be inspired, because we always talk about the patient, but sometimes we forget about the nurses and what they're going to. And I really liked how you said you were transparent about how you feel. And I think that sometimes that's very difficult as the Black and brown community. You know, a lot of times we're raised to not show emotion, or raised to, you know, take a back seat. And as nurses, we're taught to, you know, that's our craft, is to put others before our own selves. And you know, I think that you have really just, again, inspired us all. And I'm grateful that you spent some time with us to share your story.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited about what the WBNA, I mean, definitely, if not the most active chapter in the National Black Nurses Association, one that's very worthy. You guys are all over the news nationwide and in the state, and you're really spearheading some amazing things. So I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the organization, and I'm just grateful to have spent some time with you. And so again, we're going to sign off here. And Margaret Thompson, and if you want to just say a goodbye and a little inspiration quickly before we go, you can lead us out of here.
All right. My inspiration is tell your family, your friends, get this vaccine. We need it, guys. We as the Black and brown people, like I said, we get the sickest, we die the quickest. Get the vaccine. I tell you, it is a must. I believe it was a gift. And I'm standing flat-footed on my faith. I believe it was a gift. Why it was put here for us to have. We had Black people working on this vaccine. We had brown people, white people, yellow people making. Get this vaccine. All these myths, throw them out the back door and think about you getting this vaccine to take care of you. And if you were going to be around any of your family members, elderly, that you don't want them getting this COVID. It is no joke. I've seen what COVID looks like. It is not pretty. It is not pretty. I say, be well, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, be kind, and get that vaccine. And I'm talking vaccine for teens, vaccines for teens. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And we're signing off. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.